Okay, everyone, this week's topic, power. So there is certain times in our life that we give our power away. We either give it to somebody because we believe they have more information or more money or more authority. And when we do that, we literally disempower ourselves and make someone else responsible for our energy, which you can imagine is probably not the best idea. So here's what I want to suggest. Let's take, for example, a teacher and a student. When the teacher teaches the student what they need to know, the teacher is simply guiding that person to add it to their toolbox and their repertoire and then go with it and out into the world and do what they will. The teacher does not own the student. The teacher does not own the information that was given to the student. The student is now empowered to mix it with who they are and go be in the world. Unfortunately, a lot of times, though, we are finding people and putting them up on pedestals because we need to believe that if we feel like we don't have it all together, somebody else has to have the answers, right? Well, no. You have the answers. The whole point of this Authentic Coaching Club is to get you in touch with those answers. Inside your system is cosmic energy beyond your belief. It's in there. The answers are inside. I am your coach to remind you to go inside and figure it out. So if you're giving your power away to somebody because you think that they have more than you of some sort of thing, then I want you to think about who those people are and see if you can rebalance with them. Simply letting them be a bringer of resources and you are receiving those resources, and that when you're done with those resources, that you can move to the next thing. And embodying within yourself that wisdom that you've already learned, and then putting yourself in the position of mixing it with new experiences, constantly growing and constantly being. Mentors are great to have because they test you and they question you, but they're asking you to look inside for your answers. They're saying, what about this? And what about this? And have you thought about that? And yes, they may have knowledge about how to get something done that you don't. That does not make them more powerful than you. And it's very important that you remember this. So it's also important that, when you do give your power away, that you're kind of asking that person to solve your problem. And you don't want to do that. And, it's hard because we get in these systems where we're in that culture where people want to have that authority over each other. The lawyer has the answers because he's a lawyer, or the police officer is the authoritarian because he's a police officer. I'm not saying that we don't respect the roles of each other, but we don't make it all encompassing of our power. We don't take ourselves down in order to receive that resource. We put ourselves right up there with them, saying, your value is good as mine, and I have a different value than what you have, and I'm resourcing myself with what you're bringing, and then adding it to what I bring to the table, if that makes sense. So what I want you to think about this week is not just who are you giving your power away to, but I also want you to see if you're doing this to anybody else. Just make sure you're not trying to steal anybody else's power because you're feeling insecure about something. Because when you do that, then you add karma to the space. And sometimes people ask us, please, 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 please give me your, let me put you on the pedestal. And we go, all right, if you must. But no, I say, I test you not to get tempted to climb up there on that pedestal. It's a long way to fall down. So I'm just kind of thinking about anything else that you guys might want to put together here. One of the things I think too is important regarding power is, looking at where you don't feel powerful, where you feel powerless, just in general, and then see if you can figure out what stories are behind that powerlessness, and then go in there and see if you can kind of resolve the backstory. So let's say, for example, you lost a job and you need to find another one. Or maybe you didn't even lose a job, but you just really need to find another job. You're not powerless to the people who are hiring you. What you are saying to those people out there who you want a job from is, here's who I am, here's what gifts I bring, here's how I stand in those gifts. If you need those gifts and you want to pay for those gifts, great. And because we don't compromise. When we compromise ourselves and we give the power to the employer and say, I hope you hire me and I hope you pay me what I'm worth, then they are in charge of us in a way that we probably won't work out for either one of us, because you're trying to show up and say, I am adding power. I'm plugging into your business and I'm bringing energy in. I'm not taking energy away. You get paid to bring energy to the business, if that makes sense. So that's what you want to go into it with, is thinking, I'm going to come to the business interview as if I'm putting energy into the business, and my energy worth is going to be more than you'll pay me. Does that make sense? And it can be if you're, in charge of yourself and in enough, and you're listening to yourself. So the other question that's kind of in my book is, when do you need to feel powerful in a situation within yourself? Like if there's a space where you almost like puff up a little bit or get tense and feel tense in your power, think about standing in that kind of easy power, that power that kind of goes, I am solid in myself and I don't have to prove it to anyone. I know who I am, I know what I'm worth, and I will show up to those who can see that. Because a lot of times the power looks like this pushing energy and it makes people defensive. They're like, whoa, back off. So, all right, that's my tip for this week. I hope this finds you super well, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Talk to you soon.